Hey! You! Listening to this podcast right now! Do you want to hear a fucking podcast about anything and everything? Like movies, music, television, and more?
Oh my God.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Yes.
Subscribe to Journey into Comics Network, and you get Podcastrophe, hosted by me, Dick. Why not throw a couple bucks to the Patreon? It's your choice. Yeah. This is a Podcastrophe.
That sounds so awesome.
The following
is a Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Is a Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Network.
production.
This is a tasty burger.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
Do you want some coffee, Mr. Tully?
Do I?
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Is butter a carb? Will you stop eating?
We elves try to stick to the 4 main food groups. Candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Foodies Watching Movies, Season 3, Episode 25.
Swish.
I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew Poor, AP. It's good to be back. It's been a little while. And as always, I am joined by Nate Phillips. How you doing, Nate?
Hello.
As well as Sarah.
Yo.
Veronica.
What's up?
And my wife, Liz.
Hello.
We're all here, and we're actually in the Poorstead today because we did a road adventure, and you guys had a gig, and we came here, and it's been great.
Been a busy weekend.
It has been. You want to tell us more about it?
Oh man, it's been a doozy of a weekend.
That's funny because that was last episode was a throwback to that Tucker and Dale episode.
Oh yeah, Tucker and Dale. Oh
Was
yeah,
that
that's right.
Was that on that episode?
Yeah, that was like the first episode that really had our current format.
That was such an old episode. We were so young back then.
Yeah, we decided to pull that one out of the vault because it never actually ended up airing on a lot of the platforms that we share our podcast to now. And that was a fun episode that we talked about Tucker and Dale versus evil.
And Halloween stuff.
Love me some Alan Tudyk.
Oh, me too.
And it's so
man.
timely because we're entering the Halloween season.
Oh, I know.
For people who don't celebrate Halloween year round.
We're gonna rewatch this movie again. I mean, it's fun to watch it like once a year. I like watching it once or twice a year.
It just turns that whole stereotype on its head, where it's like these guys are like, they just keep dying around us. What is happening?
College kids. All these college kids are killing themselves on my property.
Oh, it's so bad.
I love it. It's such a good one. The other day, I was at my house, and my grandpa, he's living with us currently. And he has to blare his TV really loud because he's kind of hard of hearing. And he was blasting Tucker and Dale. And all I heard was, "It was a doozy of a day, officer." And I was like, oh, yes, Grandpa.
Grandpa gets down on the good stuff.
Yeah, and I was talking to him about it later. I was like, so did you like that movie? He's like, oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. I just love that shit.
Didn't you say that, like, he has all like the streaming services to like...
Yeah, he's got my passwords for Netflix and HBO Now and Hulu.
So you just watch all of his things.
Well, yeah, he's been real sick. I've been helping take care of him because he's doing at-home dialysis now, which is fucking ridiculous and very involved, and he needs help with it. So we've been dealing with that, and he has to do this like treatment 4 times a day, every day, for the rest of his life. So he's been confined to the basement, to his like room, and he's like, I'm gonna be in this room the rest of my life. And I was like, well, don't worry, I'm gonna get you HBO. It's gonna be okay.
Movies and TV make everything better, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Escape from the world.
God, the one thing that really pisses me off about having to live down there with Grandpa is
You live down there with him?
Well, yeah, I live at my mom's house.
Right, but in the base. Oh.
Well, the basement is like a separate little house on top, like underneath the main
like
house.
2 in 1.
Yeah, it's 2 houses.
Almost like an
in
in-law
one.
suite, kind of, and the. It's almost like an in-law suite.
Yeah, I guess that's what you call it. Yeah, good on you. But it's a fully furnished basement. It's got a kitchen, all sorts of shit. And Ollie and I, hang out down there. But Grandpa has been staying with us because he's sick and whatever. And he was getting really tired of the same things on Netflix, and he's having a hard time navigating Hulu and HBO, so he just settles on watching The Ranch
On Netflix?
over and over and over.
The Ashton Kutcher show?
The Ashton Kutcher
With
show.
Sam
It's so
that's
weird.
his fucking jam. And all I hear, like anytime you come over to my house, all you're going to hear is, mothers, don't let your babies grow
Is that the-
up
is that the
to be
intro?
Cowboys. Yes. My little 5-year-old walks around singing it. My mom, you'll hear her singing it upstairs, and it's like, God damn it.
Why do I
Cannot
live here?
escape it.
What's happening?
Before we move on too much further, we should introduce the last member of our panel today. Welcome back to Foodies, Liz.
I thought we did already.
She said hi. She said hi.
Really?
She just hasn't. I've just been
I'm
blabbering
just like
on.
in my own
Yeah.
world and missed that
We
altogether.
did the
Now
whole
I
round
feel
table.
silly.
Everybody got introduced.
Right.
We
I went
did.
through it.
My bad.
You're
Now-
good.
Now I feel
It's
silly.
cool. It's been a really long weekend, like we
has
said. We had to play
Yeah.
a show last night in Milwaukee. It was a long drive and long night, and it was a weird show. It was fun, but we were real tired when we got back. So we got to stay with the lovely Liz and AP, and it was super sweet. Thank you for putting up with us for the
Oh, yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Good to have you guys here.
Yeah, appreciate the hospitality. And then we decided to go make up for a long day yesterday by having the best motherfucking adventure we could think of, being this
yes.
close to Wisconsin. And this is something that I have to say from a personal standpoint I've been wanting to do for years.
Since we met, in fact.
Yeah, you first told me about this place years ago, and I'm like, oh, this needs to be a part of my life, and then we never did it. We are very rarely up this far north, you know. And we decided to see if Liz and AP wanted to go to the Mars Cheese Castle.
Doesn't sound like a mythical place.
It is.
What about the cheese
It's
castle?
been built
What?
up to like legendary status in my like mind's eye, because Nate keeps going on and on and on and on and on about like this cheese fudge he had and the cheese
It's still better.
curds, and I'm like, okay, I want to go to a castle of cheese. Obviously, yes, let's do that. And we decided to go. Should we talk about that?
Sure.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Have you guys been to the cheese castle
We have
before?
not. We've driven
No.
past it a lot, but it's always like, oh, it's the cheese castle. Like
It's just there.
I know. Like,
Exactly. Go a cheese castle.
It doesn't look that. It looks very unassuming from the outside.
But it is,
it's
in
very
fact, a
medieval.
castle with battlements and
Right.
whatnot.
But it's just like, well, because it's going to be like every other tourist trap almost. You're like, it could be
Right.
just like, we have this cheese. And you're like, oh.
Because there's a lot of those places off the highway that they're like, oh, it's cheese and blah, blah,
The big
blah.
difference is cheese, and it's like, it's the size of like this room.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like,
right. Well, that is not what we experienced
No,
today.
it is not.
Mm-mm.
So much cheese.
We experienced cheese royalty.
The Mecca.
Oh, yeah.
We got to try so many different kinds of cheese.
We had to fight past the moat.
Oh, yeah. The old biker lady moat.
I was like, what the
As soon as we pulled in, like, we're like, oh, it doesn't look too bad. And then we pulled in to the parking lot, and there was this giant tour bus filled with, like, how many old
50,
ladies?
50 old
Yeah.
biker ladies?
50, 60 old
Leather
biker
jackets.
ladies. Yeah.
Vests.
They probably would have
Vests.
liked our
And-
band.
And guys
Maybe.
guys in vests taking pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and guys in vests taking pictures. Yeah, so we had to, like, it was like a literal fucking moat.
So it's something like
a
the
sea of
ladies were on
ladies.
the bus, and then like the three guys were like on the motorcycles ahead of the bus or behind it or something.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
absolutely
They're
true.
like on a cruise tour or
Escorts.
something.
They're on a cheese tour of Wisconsin.
Oh.
Maybe.
Like, what the fuck else do you do when you're in Wisconsin? You drink beers and you get cheese.
You get those
So
cheese
much
curds,
cheese.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed by the amount of samples they had.
We're going to
Of-
need
Yeah.
to post some pictures. I did take some pictures today for our Foodies Watching Movies Instagram, which everybody should check out, by the way.
Yes.
And we took some amazing pictures, and like they have a whole wall of just like hot sauces.
Oh
They've
my
got
God.
a whole like restaurant area, a bakery area, a cheese
bar.
area, a bar, like a whole wine section, like
A gift shop.
a huge motherfucking place. Candies, like old school candies,
All
like
that
old
alcohol.
violets. and
Surprisingly
stuff.
amount of
Yeah.
alcohol too.
And like
A
the
lot of
crackers
alcohol.
and
Oh,
the chips and stuff. Yeah.
Those
The chips.
kettle chips. Those like fresh baked.
We bought some. We bought a bag of the roasted garlic and mushroom. Like it was like truffle chips,
Yeah.
and they're like deep fried tortilla chips, and they're incredible.
So I think we should go like room by room as we walked through the cheese castle, right? So like we first went to just the cheese section because it's all sectioned off. Like potent
nice.
potables is even a section.
Oh, potent potables!
I
That's
was
our
so
favorite
pleased.
Jeopardy category.
Potent potables. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about that.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so what was our experience in just the cheese section? Let's talk about that.
I just remember going from sample station to sample station, like, what is this? What is this? Is this taco dip? I'm getting some of that.
Yeah, they had the really good like strawberry rhubarb jam.
Yes.
Oh, that was
with
good.
The butternut cheddar. Did you try the butternut, Liz?
I couldn't do the butternut, but I did the jam, the strawberry rose, or I think it was called strawberry rose or rhubarb or whatever.
Very good.
It was delicious.
Stellar. I went back for another one.
Oh, I went back for
the cheese and
two.
salami from that little station. That
Oh
the guy,
yeah, the salami.
But then,
was
then
good.
handed me like a roasted almond or pecan or something, and it was just like,
And they're like, you
they
gotta
had the
try it
cheese
with
and the
this
pecan together
cheese.
in your mouth, and I was like, not bad.
Yeah.
They're
Got the port wine cheese. It was super good.
Oh,
the
we
port
missed
wine cheese
out.
spread.
Yeah, I
I
missed
love
that.
port wine spread.
so
That's some like old
Liz
lady
got a
shit.
can of it.
Some
She's-
golden
Oh yeah,
girl
I
shit.
needed it.
You got it. You got some.
Yeah, and normally I'm not
Ah.
much of like a cheese person, but that was really good, so I had to get some.
I like that kind.
on
Yeah.
the best quality string cheese that you could.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, fresh like rope string cheese, like real. But what you need to know about the cheese section, everybody that's listening, is that literally the whole store is a sample. They have
Yeah, you can
cheese
try
workers
anything.
there, and you point at it, and if you want to, they'll open up the package and they will give you a sample, and then they lace them out for samples. It's a win-win for everybody. So you can try before you buy on a lot,
And we
on
did.
all this stuff, because it's just you walk in, and I mean, there's just cheese you've never heard of. I mean, just all of
Hundreds
the
of different kinds of cheese.
Put together all the like grocery stores you've ever been to and their cheese sections, and yes, I'm including Whole Foods and all of these places, and then put it in one place
In a
It's
castle.
all in a
A
castle,
magical castle.
Yeah,
I'm just expecting someone to start singing "Be Our Guest."
yeah,
right,
They
with all the
practically
different-
do little
With
the
cheese.
little cheese
Yeah.
head.
She's our
Yeah,
guest.
And everybody was really nice. All the employees were super friendly and
Yeah.
knowledgeable, and like wanted to talk to you about cheese.
yeah.
And everyone was so courteous. Like all the people that were there to sample were all like, "Oh no, go ahead, try it." I'm like,
Yeah,
They want you to
We're like-
sample
Happy
it.
cheese
I
people.
pointed to a cheese and I was like, "Can we get a sample of the St. Angel triple cream brie?" And they're like, "Oh sure." I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah!"
Yeah, yeah. They're
try
just
to do that at a grocery store. Can I always?
Because it was like
No.
an $8 wedge
You
that
buy
they
Yeah.
opened up and just was like, "Sure, here."
Well, because they'll
Yeah.
reweigh it and
I
change
know.
the price. That's
Totally.
the,
It's
it's the
cheap.
absolute
They'll shave
win.
it off and be like,
Genius.
yeah.
sample the
Yeah,
rest.
So smart.
Yeah, and the whole cheese counter is open, so you see all the work. Like everybody's just there.
It was magnificent.
You know, like,
it's totally worth going to.
Yeah, you don't have to wait. There's always like I saw anywhere from like 3 to 6 people back there
Yeah,
at any
just
given time,
ready to
just-
help you.
Yeah, just like doing stuff with cheese.
Keeping it cheesy.
Yeah, that's what their job
Oh,
is.
speaking of super cheesy at the Cheese Castle, tell them about the mac and cheesy.
Oh,
mac and cheeses.
Mac and
oh,
cheeses?
I should have. No, we spent our money on cheese, but they had just this novelty thing. It was like a bag of mac and cheese that was like Christian shapes. Like, and it was called mac and cheeses. And it really pleased me. It was like $13. I'm like,
was
oh,
like-
I can't get it.
There was a Jesus silhouette across.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
there
it was weird. It was
they had
hilarious.
oh, what did it say on the back? I wish I would have taken a picture of it. I didn't
Oh
take a
yeah.
picture of it.
Oh yeah. Let me think. It was something. It was a funny little tagline.
Oh wait, it was something like
Taste the Holy
Christian,
Spirit? I don't
Christian or Jew. It's all the same when you chew.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It doesn't matter when you
and
chew.
it was a paraphrase of some verse in Galatians, I think is what it said.
That was
a funny
hysterical.
It also
paraphrase.
sounds like a cannibalism thing. Like,
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Super dark.
Hey,
Yeah, man, I wish I would have spent $13 on mac and cheese
for the story alone.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Did it come with like the cheese powder?
It would've
It
had
was the
to
whole
have,
kit.
It was a whole kit.
It was.
Get the milk and butter. And
It was
like,
holy cheese powder, you guys. I missed out.
cheese
We missed
powder.
out.
We could have had
That's
it.
for next time.
That could have been our
Yeah.
lunch today.
Or it would have killed us. If you've ever
Probably.
seen our band, we might have died from the experience. So maybe
Right.
I dodged a
Yeah.
very holy bullet.
I know what Sarah's gonna
Silver
find
bullet.
for Christmas
Holy
this year. It's
hand
just
grenade
a,
of Antioch.
Yeah.
just a year's worth of mac and cheeses.
Yeah. Okay, so back to cheese.
I did feel really Monty
Jesus Christ.
Python, like the cheese shop episode. And we're like, oh, a Wensleydale.
Oh, Wednesday.
Oh,
There was
a
lots of
camembert.
Wensleydale. Yeah.
A what?
A Wensleydale with cranberries.
Yeah.
Shit, that looked good. We should have got that. We got some 2 different kinds of Parmesan wedges to try.
I asked her. I looked at the woman behind the counter. I said, "I need Parmesan," and she just clicked her fingers and pointed, and like it's like okay, like and followed me like in a good way, you know. She was just like, "I got you," and then like she showed me like 5 different kinds. She's like, "Well, you can get this and this that you can get anywhere." Or you can get the super secret cheese, you know. And she told me about
super secret cheese.
It was all these. It had these fancy names. I don't remember what they were now. I don't ever remember names of anything.
Like your Parmesan?
Huh?
You like your Parmesan?
Yeah, Parmesan's good. Well, I shouldn't have a lot of cheese anyways.
Right.
Like I have to watch my cheese intake.
But you were saying that Parmesan doesn't have a lot of lactose in it anyway.
No, the harder cheeses don't.
Right.
Yeah, lactose
So
intolerant
you can eat as much
people.
Parmesan as you want.
Yeah, I will. Not as much as I want, but like there's way less. The harder the cheese, generally, the less lactose is in it.
One thing that really surprised me is like when I was walking through that little like center thing that all the cheeses was that it had the cave aged cheese.
Oh yeah,
I remember
I
watching
didn't see that.
I wanted watching that documentary thing about there's certain caves in Switzerland that have like the perfect humidity and temperature to like age cheese properly, and it's like but it's like it looks super weird because they're just like guys in like full like white like head to toe stuff, and then just. You're in a cave with like racks of cheese and stalactites, and I'm like,
just in a cave
the
with
hell
cheese.
is this place?
I don't know.
That sounds
Wandered
amazing.
into a dream.
That sounds like a David Lynch movie.
I could be the new Batman, just cheese man.
Ooh, I like that.
Cave cheese.
Oh my god!
But I kind of wanted to try it to see like how different that taste would be. I'd imagine in that kind of environment.
Yeah, that would be interesting to find out.
Come down to my cheese cave.
Yeah, man.
Who needs a man cave when you can have a cheese cave?
Ooh.
Nate, what cheeses did you pick out?
So I picked out this like it's essentially like a Parmesan encrusted espresso cheese.
No, I think it was an espresso encrusted Parmesan.
You knew what I meant. Yeah.
That's totally different.
Well,
that could
I'm
be two different
I remember
cheeses.
you could not like. I have to get this. There's not.
Even
there's
though
not a
she
question.
said I could not sample that one.
Oh, really?
Did you ask?
I did ask, and she's like, "This specific brand we can't sample."
Bummer.
It's probably a distribution thing.
So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, totally. I got that cheese.
That means sold.
I also
Yeah.
got the Vern's golden cheddar cheese curds.
Ooh, yeah. We got some peppercorn ranch flavored cheese curds to try.
I had
And
to,
then
I had to get my Bloody Mary cheese because I'm like, that's gotta be good.
I bet that's going to be fucking delicious. And I can't stand Bloody Marys, but I love like
tomato
mozzarella.
with the cheese. Yeah.
I love tomato and cheese.
Liz, what cheese did you grab?
Well, I got the port wine.
Right, and then you got
And then I got all this meat.
the meat.
I got
the
the summer
venison,
sausage.
Hell
the
yeah.
Did you
honey
get the one in the shape of a football?
No.
I thought about it, but it was a little pricier for
Yeah.
just the weird shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little pricey.
There was one in the shape of a beer bottle.
Oh, I did get Havarti cheese with garlic for my Oma because she really likes Havarti cheese.
Me too. I love Havarti.
So,
Are
like
you
a
seeing
cheese
her
coma
today?
just sounds
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
like a
nice.
nice full cheese stomach nap.
We're almost there right now after our
Especially after
lunch
that.
today.
Oh man, that pizza we had after the cheese castle.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo! How long have you been getting that pizza?
Since Andrew's been up here, I mean, that was like one of the first local pizza places that we actually went to
I think
because it was
ate out there
closer.
just because we were curious.
Yeah, and it was close to where Andrew lived before.
It's called
in the
Bill's Pizza,
apartment.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
It was right by my
And they only
apartment.
have 2 locations, so the one in Mundelein, and then there's another one that's like more
I
north.
feel like we're
Oh,
probably
okay.
in the middle between the two, aren't we?
Uh,
Maybe the north one's still a little north.
the north one is probably like 10, 15 minutes, I don't know, north of us. I have no idea.
It's not bad.
I liked the sign on outside the building that said Bill's Pizza, fabulous hot dogs.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen a hot dog there, which is just funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to
I don't know.
I
try
know
a
they serve them,
fabulous
but
hot
it's
dog.
like you don't. It's like a little hot dog stand that's just mainly known for pizza.
I think it's just like an old sign that they had, like maybe that was a big thing a long time ago.
Pizza and hot
okay.
dogs.
But yeah, but no, I don't
I
know
loved
if it's
it.
really as much.
Well, the pizza was good. You opted to go with the double crust.
Yeah,
The double decker.
that's the
Double
best.
decker, my bad.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. It's like because it's not like a thick crust where you just got a ton of dough, but it's like 2 thin crust pizzas rolled together, so it's enough crust without being too
It's like
much.
the thick crust that they have at some of the other like Pizza Hut and all that, but better.
Yeah, it. I would say
the
it's
hand
better than
rolled
Pizza Hut.
and so that nice braided
That was
crust around the
nice.
edge.
Yeah, we don't typically get pizzas like that where we live, so it was an interesting change of pace.
Yeah, it was very good.
And then we made a real interesting change of pace with something else I bought at the Cheese Castle.
Oh, you did.
Because I bought the right hand of doom Hellboy hot sauce, which is 6.66 million Scovilles.
Sweet.
Oh, I felt that.
And it's got like
He's still feeling it.
I'm finally over it.
Oh
but
man, AP was sweating.
It was.
His face was red. He had to have an ice cream sandwich.
I always do like the.
Because we had no milk.
I always do like a trial, you know. I always test and see it. If it gets me, I would always caution somebody against it being. I didn't think it was that rough. I thought it was strong, like it came on strong. And then I was like, AP, if you really want to try it,
my
here
problem
you go.
was I did the double dip.
You went round 2, yeah.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
you
have.
did.
I was fine. I'm like, it's on my plate. I'm just gonna get just a little more, and it's just like, nope. That was your threshold. You can't do
How did
another.
the ice cream sandwich help? Did it?
It was good. I ended up like just like licking the ice cream, like sweet relief.
Would you recommend
Save
it as a
me.
pain reliever for hot sauce?
I feel like, yeah, ice cream. I think ice cream over milk is probably better when it comes to like spice because you get the cold instant effect plus the dairy.
Well, we watch a lot of hot ones. Has anybody ever brought like a vanilla milkshake on before?
Yeah,
I've seen
they've
someone do
brought all
like
kinds
I've seen
of-
someone do like the soy milk or like the nut milk, and I'm like, I don't know if that would have the same effect to
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
to kill the heat.
Gordon Ramsay used lemon and lime juice.
That was gross. He was squirting that shit on his tongue.
Yeah.
It was
Do you have like
nasty.
the concentrate like in the, or is it just like the
Yeah.
like the concentrate bottles? You
Yeah,
just
like
squirt
he
it
was
in?
just
Yeah,
bottle.
squirting
straight
it
up
in his
squirting
mouth.
bottles of lemon and lime juice in his
I
mouth.
didn't watch his. I bet that would have been
It's
interesting.
it was
fucking
hilarious.
amazing.
Does he-
It's the one people have been waiting
does
for.
he swear? at
Oh,
the,
tons.
Oh, it's
after the
super
spi-
funny.
Because you probably criticized the wings too. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, he did. It's actually
Yeah.
really hilarious.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
I still like when they get the people who don't do the meat. They have like the vegan wings that are just like odd shapes.
Yeah, totally. I wonder if they're good. Vegan wings. I've never had
I don't
vegan
know.
wings.
I've never had vegan wings. I've had vegan hot dogs.
'Cause I don't even know like how they even prepare. Like if they actually like make them right before they get there. Like if they prep them somewhere else and bring them there. If there's a
They
kitchen,
pick them up from like a restaurant.
and then they wait
They have
and they
like a
season them
place.
themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. But we're not.
Nate-
We're not on hot ones. We're on Foodies Watching Movies. What the hell
Oh.
else were we talking about here?
We should be on
We
hot
were
yeah,
still
we were talking about the cheese
Yeah,
castle.
yeah. So
and the
we
spiciness of the.
Oh yeah, the hot sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was good. I liked it. You went for round 2 and got burned.
But it was still good.
It is. It's got a really nice flavor.
And we had this interesting discussion that I remember Veronica was talking about of how some people have some weird spice fetishes. It seems like, and how they brand
Yeah.
bottles.
Yeah, there
yeah.
was one bottle that had like a sweet looking like ghost fiend skeleton guy on it, and it said like Ass's Reaper or something like that.
yeah, that's
Ass
what it was
Reaper.
called.
And there's like pain and suffering, pleasure and pain. I'm like,
Yeah, there was
all
some
these,
interesting
like,
hot sauce
weird,
artwork.
Like, sexualizing.
You're gonna
hot
feel
sauce.
it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess the guys who like
Firea
are
and
really
all
into
that.
hot sauce are also just really into ass because like every label referenced
Anal
something.
probe
Oh
and-
yeah,
I
alien
love, I
anal
love the
probe.
fiery farts though.
Fiery farts, firea,
Yeah.
firea.
Yeah, fiery. That was the best one.
Yeah, there's some
That was
pretty
one of the
interesting
better
art.
ones.
I don't know, all the brand ones.
I think they just embrace what's going to happen after you have the hot sauce, and that's
Well,
how they
one
try
was
to
like
market it. Like,
ass
let's
in
not run.
Antarctica, which was like
Just
someone
being
taking
really
a block
real
of ice
about
the
it.
next day. I'm like,
Yeah.
the you'll feel it tomorrow is always like, do we just people just doing this like, I like the pain when the next day. Like, no, who wants that?
Nope.
Is
Nobody.
that really good for your body?
No.
I mean, they say
No.
spicy
You
things
can
are
burn
good.
holes in your fucking
Right.
esophagus if you eat too much spicy shit.
How is
you can
that?
get ulcers.
I know. How is that dude
Indigestion,
from Hot Ones
heartburn.
like survive?
Well, he's a ghoul.
Tums.
He's
He's
well,
not.
he's not
Tums.
even alive
Well-
anymore.
well,
no,
it's like-
he's just
it's like
he's a
the,
machine.
totally undead.
It's like the man versus food. Like those guys just, I don't. They have to like
In the
stop.
best
they have a
way.
very short shelf life because they can't.
I think he did an episode of Hot Ones.
Did he?
Adam, what's his
Adam
face?
Gold.
Yes.
Well, 'cause he stopped because
Adam
his
Goldberg or
like
something.
he was doing bad things to his body, and now like lost a bunch of weight.
But then he
No.
got in trouble for saying some not nice things,
Oh,
and then that's
that
how he got
happened.
off the Travel Channel.
Well, it's, I think just that the guy who does Hot Ones just doesn't eat wings when he's not doing the show. I think is how he probably stays normal.
Right.
Just
And
said
he
that on
films
a
them all.
recent
And he
episode,
films
yeah.
them all. Like he doesn't film them like every I think he films a bunch in advance. And
Oh
then
yeah, they
releases
do
them out.
like a month of just banging them out, and that's their
And
whole
they slow
season.
release, yeah.
You know, which is smart. So he just has that 1 month a year or 2 months a year where he's just wrecking his body.
And then just goes on a cleanse after.
The amount of like last dab that he's eaten, you know.
Unless his are all fake. His are all.
Oh, You know what's funny? Somebody made him switch with them to prove that it wasn't fake because there were comments about that. So he's like, no, I want your fucking paddle. Give it to me. He was like, all right, fine. You can have it. It's the same. Whatever. Here. It's good.
Legit.
Great.
Yeah.
You know?
So, Nate, what made you decide to get the Hellboy one out of, like, the probably, 100 different kinds of bottles?
I don't need, an ass kind of pun. You know, I'm not. It's not my.
You're not an ass man.
I don't need an ass pun. No, I'm not. But I really, 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 obviously, am a comic book fan. So seeing Hellboy on a thing, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
There's David Harbour Hellboy too.
Yeah, and so I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, they've only got 3. They've got this extreme one, which, whatever. But then that one was the right hand of Doom. Price is Right. And it's 6.66 million Scovilles, and I said sold to the highest bidder. You know,
you walked around with that, and you're like, "Do I get it?"
Oh, I totally just could because I was like, it's cheese though. But last time I went, I was regretting not getting a hot sauce. So this was my great makeup for that decision.
And really, if there's anything you're really dying for, you could always just have us go pick up some for you and bring it like your dealers.
That's
your
good
cheese
to think
dealers.
About.
The cheese dealers.
Poors are now cheese dealers.
Sweet.
We go to Wisconsin like, all right, hey, what do you need?
You need to peddle that cheese.
And the Cheese Castle
want
not only had cheese, but they had so many other things that we ended up getting. I got Ollie little spoon made out of honey. They had tons of different honeys, tons of different kinds of syrups. We got a blueberry syrup to try.
Ooh.
We got 2 different kinds of jellies.
Oh yeah, they had all kinds of jams.
I saw a whole
jellies
wall of honey and syrups and the one that's like the bottles of Maple Leaf. I'm like, that is.
Yeah.
That
oh
is
my
syrup.
god, that just reminded me. I got maple candies.
You did, yeah.
They're cranberry flavored maple candy from Wisconsin.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we tried to buy things that you could only buy there.
Right.
Not that you could buy at Whole Foods or something.
Exactly.
But they had that. They had really quality stuff there. It wasn't a bunch of junk. They didn't have a whole lot of
They had the same
junk.
stuff that you could get at Whole Foods and more.
And more, yeah.
Right.
And local stuff and
It was like every fancy cheese market put
yeah,
together.
They
the
sold me.
crackers and stuff. The selection was really good. They had I don't know what those ones that we bought were. Those crackers. They were
in-house
chip.
brand,
in-house.
right?
Yeah,
no, the dude who sold them to us, the employee, he was super sweet, and he was saying to me that it was a mother-daughter business that they from Kenosha.
Okay.
And that they liberated the recipes from their grandma.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh. And just the way that he said that was I'm fucking sold. I'm going to buy them immediately.
So what was our flavor that we got? There was
mushroom and roasted garlic.
Yeah, there was 8 different flavors.
They had a good beer cheese one that was made with this real deep German beer. He said.
And you could taste it. The aftertaste,
they had all the
it was
bags
there.
open for samples.
Yeah, I had the cinnamon and the apple.
Ooh, I wanted the apple. Was it good?
Yeah.
I should have got some
It wasn't
apple.
as I wish they would have just combined the cinnamon and the apple pie. I feel like that would have been the best option because both of them separate were good. But I think if they
you could buy
put
the
'em-
apple ones and then sprinkle cinnamon at home.
That's
and
true.
a little sprinkle of
Save some
sugar.
money, yeah.
Ooh, and they had cinnamon sugar, or they had a cinnamon toast,
croutons.
Croutons.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, they had lots of pastries. They had a whole bakery in the back, right? They had a bakery. Didn't you guys get cookies?
We got
something?
one cookie, but it was it was one of those it's ready to go if you don't eat it today, it's going in the garbage.
It was one of the the checkout get it while it's
impulse.
good.
Yeah.
And we're it's $2. It's a big cookie. I'll take it.
They had some good looking desserts. I didn't try too many of them. I wish I would have, but the samples they had was pecan tart, and I'm not huge. I can't really eat a lot of nuts,
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling too. I'm allergic to nuts, so I couldn't eat the Kringle. And the cheese bread was just kind of funky. It wasn't
the cheese bread was only okay.
Yeah.
I wish if they would have served it warm, I think it would have been a bigger seller than when they just did it cold.
Right.
It didn't taste like cheese.
No, exactly.
It had some strange
it was like a glob.
Yeah. But we were at a cheese castle, so I can forgive them for that.
Right.
That's okay. I didn't even make it over into the alcohol section of any of it. I didn't look, but I know
we
that
looked at some of the wines, and they had a really nice selection of different flavors of wines, lots of fruity flavors of wines. I wanted to get something, but we were kind of just rushing to get in the checkout, so we needed to get back and eat this pizza.
You could spend a lot of time browsing there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The guy that sold us the chips, that very jolly gentleman, he was very Santa-like.
That is true.
Oh, he was a total Santa.
Yeah, he was a bear.
That's probably his other job.
He was a jolly Wisconsin bear. And he told us that the Cheese Castle was the 5th largest. Didn't he say the 5th?
The 5th
attraction in the country. Didn't he say? Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Like a roadside attraction in the country, like the 5th largest.
The Iowa
truck stop
on 80 or something is like the biggest attraction.
Huh. Yeah.
It's no Uranus Fudge Factory though.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's like this little like tourist attraction town that's like
really.
It's like right by Rolla, Missouri. And it's the town's called Uranus, and so there's all these like,
come on,
yeah,
oh my
it's the
God.
best.
The Pun
It's
City,
so
USA.
They have all the branded stuff.
They got like the Uranus gas and lube. They've got, they actually have like little cutouts of like animal butts, and you can put your face in there and take pictures.
It's
oh my God!
They tried to start a newspaper called the Uranus Examiner, and I thought that was the
somebody
best
called
thing
Jimmy
ever.
Fallon. That sounds like something.
Oh, it was so fun.
It got me. That was funny.
All right.
Shit. Well, yeah, that was a good time. I enjoyed going to the...
That was an absolute blast. I love taking you guys there. I'm glad that I got to take you and we got to go on that experience because we've been talking about it for a long time.
Thanks for taking me.
Yeah, so next time we'll talk about all of our goodies that like, after we can sample them all.
Oh, yeah, smart.
Home.
We'll talk about that on the second part of the finale because we are in the first part of your finale, folks, if you didn't know.
And speaking of goodies,
I was going to say, AP, you got some goodies. You and Liz did.
Over here. Liz, while I pass them out, do you want to share what we have here?
Sure. So we got a few things that we brought back from Africa, and we were like, oh, we got to have them. It wouldn't be a complete Foodies if we didn't try some. So one of the first things we got was it's called biltong, and it's the South African version of jerky, but it's a lot better.
Okay.
It's super good.
Oh, he's passing out
and
candies.
then we've got Amarula liqueur dark chocolate. And Amarula is a really good like coffee liqueur, and it's from the marula plant that grows in Africa, and like that's the reason they have like an elephant on their bottle because that's what the elephants eat, or the marula plant or the fruit. And then what else do we have? The lemon cookies that Andrew was like obsessed with.
Oh my God.
These smell incredible.
We were trying to find like the lemon cookies because actually our tour guide bought a lot of like snacks and stuff for us to eat as we were driving. And so
really?
Yeah, and then he took us to a grocery store, and we were like, what were the things that you got us? And then, like, everybody's, like, grabbing all the stuff that he had.
Liz really wanted to get the mango candies.
I know, there was this really good mango, like, hard candy, and unfortunately, we could never find it, so it must be really popular. But, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying biltong.
The biltong, which is a special type of jerky that they make that's, like, an old-style way of doing it, and it's really the only place I found around that actually tastes like that.
Whoa.
I love
it's very unique. And we had it maimed from like, this is beef, so it's more regular, but they had like ones of like the game meat that we had when we were there, like kudu and antelope and all of that. So we had very
exotic.
You've eaten antelope.
I've eaten, and actually I learned that antelope is not like a specific animal, it's just a classification of animal. Like an impala is an antelope, which I didn't realize.
Interesting.
That's cool.
The flavor is really deep. It's like salty, but it's salty in the way that like soy sauce is salty, or like Worcestershire, however you say that word, sauce.
It's deep.
Yeah, it has that kind of depth to it.
The best part, like, this is just prepackaged. A lot of the grocery stores, and there's like the street stores too, actually have it hanging, and they'll shave it off.
Oh wow!
Right. Or they'll have like the snack sticks.
That's crazy. Is it really good?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, this is good too, but there was other stuff that was better.
I think my favorite though is the lemon cream cookie.
I'm gonna eat that last.
Okay. So you want to try the?
I'm gonna try the amarula.
Yeah,
Because amarula is like, I don't know. It was the best thing that we got to try.
Actually, the actual amarula. We got a bottle of it.
The liqueur is what you tried.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, interesting enough, when we saw, well, we'll get to this later, but we saw the Lion King, the new movie, when we came back, and we actually saw the amarula tree in the movie.
It's a coffee bean.
No, it's just marula.
Sorry, not marula, yeah.
Oh, take a little picture. It's
Which is like a
adorable.
fruit that they make into a liqueur.
It's very
Really?
Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh my god, this is redonkulous.
Right?
Oh, it melts in your mouth.
This chocolate, everybody, is shaped like a coffee bean. Like it's like a like a truffle size, I guess. I don't know.
Truffle size.
Yeah.
Wow, it's good.
It was absolutely amazing.
And we have the
I
actual
wasn't
liqueur you guys can
expecting, like, the
sample
cream
later.
filled
It's just,
filling.
it's good on like ice. Like you could make a nice like.
It's like you just drink it straight. Like there's not.
It goes
you
with
don't
like
even
a
have to
white
have-
Russian just by itself with that. Just that on ice would be delicious.
Wow.
We had it.
Yep.
Good, probably good in coffee too. It's just a nice. It's a little different than like if you're getting like a Bailey's or another.
Dinner liqueur.
But I don't think you need to like refrigerate it like you do like Bailey's and stuff.
No, the amarula tastes better when it's cold.
Right.
I'm just
I
over
love
here
that
sniffing
kind of
this
kind of
cookie.
drinks.
It's.
Are you
I
gonna
had
try the
this when
lemon?
on our like when we're in the vehicle going, and I'm just like, oh my god, so much better. It's like shortbread, and then these, and I was like, oh, this is so much better than the shortbread.
Sorry, I'm like chewing on the podcast.
Oh my god.
But it's delicious.
Right?
The
Isn't that the best
packaging's
lemon
cool.
cream cookie you've ever had?
It's because the cookie has a little bit of like a salty to it, but not really salty. It's like a biscuit. Oh my Lanta. This is out of sight.
Welcome to South African cuisine. Not even cuisine. the
South
sweets,
African
the snack.
snacks. Sweet. So, what else did you guys do while you were in Africa? What kind of foods were you eating?
It was mostly like a lot of game meat.
A lot of game meat. A lot of like, also a lot of just red meat in general.
They're big meat eaters, and I was really surprised to learn that. Because I was like, we're gonna have small portions, blah blah blah. Like thinking more, it was like Europe. Oh no, we were like encouraged to get appetizers and dessert and all sorts of stuff, and I'm like, we gained a lot of weight from that trip, but it was so worth it.
We were gonna make mulva pudding for you guys, but it's heavy in the dairy, so it's a little
That'd be hard for Sarah.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you looking for? Yes, but it's
These lemon cookies are out of sight.
because there was like there's milk in the recipe and then heavy cream in the it was just a lot of dairy. So
Yeah.
Oh no.
I remember having it there because I had it like different ways. Somewhere it was like they'd put like cream over the top of it. Somewhere it's like a scoop of ice cream, and it was just very good. It's,
Oh my.
It's almost like gingerbread in terms of how it tastes.
Damn.
Kind
Nice.
of, yeah.
It's a similar taste profile, but
Yeah, these lemon cookies are crazy. They have like a little. They've got some kind of spice to them. Damn, they're good.
yeah, I had to share it with you guys. I knew
Thank you.
if anyone's gonna appreciate it, it'd be you guys.
And I tell you what,
Clearly.
it's an amazing palate cleanser after all the other things I've just
Lemon
tried.
always is.
It just like sets so nice at the end.
You really can't only have like one of those because like
Very
it's just,
rich.
It's just it's not like rich, but it's just like it's you only just need one. That's all.
It satisfies
Yeah.
your
Very full
sweet
flavored.
tooth.
Excellent flavor. Yeah, it's got a spice to it. It's got a good flavor. The crunchiness. It's like a
The
crackery,
cream is
biscuity
good.
cookie.
It's very
Yeah, it's real good.
But yeah, I think the interesting thing was to be able to try like that the exotic meats like not the crocodile.
We did crocodile.
The crocodile.
Crocodile carpaccio.
Yeah.
I've had crocodile before when I was in Australia.
It's very interesting.
I didn't like it. It was like rubbery, watery chicken.
We had it with we had it very thinly sliced and it was,
so it was like
it was very like turkey.
Oh, you had like carpaccio. Like
yeah,
that.
so it was like turkey, but
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like the idea of eating crocodile.
yeah. One of the interesting things that like a lot of the one thing that like their bacon over there is thick and very like not quite raw, but it's not like kind of like Canadian bacon or ham in terms of how it's cooked and stuff. very interesting. But they figure you're American, they'll make it the American way. Like they'll fry it up and then make it crispy. But otherwise,
they
it's
call
like
it streaky bacon if you want it the American way.
Well, I remember getting like a burger with like bacon on it. I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be crispy. No, it's just like almost like someone put like a layer of ham on top of my burger. It was good. It just was not what I expected.
Interesting.
What do you think your favorite meal was when we were over there, Liz?
Oh my gosh, the warthog sausage with the game, the safari platter.
I was not expecting that to ever be in a sentence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Warthog sausage?
Yes, it's
Have you ever had like
flavorful.
Polish sausage? It's like that, but like 1,000 times better.
Oh,
You
wow.
can't even I can't even describe to you. It's just so like, it was just the way that they cooked it, the seasoning. It was like perfect.
There was
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. There was interesting sauce they used. Like, have you ever got like a lot of, I can't remember what the sauce. It was almost like a gravy like sauce had on a lot of their food. It was enjoyable.
What was it? HV? No, what was
it? It wasn't the HP sauce. It was something else. They
it's just like a brown gravy that they put on everything.
Okay.
like all their burgers
breakfast
and
sausage burgers. Like it's just something that
on the breakfast sausage. It was really good.
Wow.
I think my favorite meal had to have been the safari thing we had in Cape Town.
Yeah. Well, that's where we got the warthog sausage. We got ostrich steak and kudu steak.
It was
all good.
Awesome. And it was just amazing how cheap all the food is because the dollar's so strong over there.
Really?
It's like 13 to 1. So you'll see things with like that's 100. That's 100. Like that's really, and it's like
100 rand.
It's like $8. Like okay, that's fine.
Oh wow!
But it's really bizarre to like get your bill. It's like 500. So you're like, oh no, that's
but
not.
Then you're like, oh wait, that's like $40, so it's fine.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was in Bali, and anytime I would get my bill, I'd look at it and be like, oh my god, oh wait, okay, it's okay.
We're good. It's scary at first, and like understanding like their tipping and stuff is always just bizarre because it's like a flat 10%, but they don't tell you that.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't know like the conversion. You're like, so I think the first time we actually tipped anyone, we tipped them like
way too much,
like 200% or something.
Whoa.
It was just because like it's just I don't know, just give them the money.
Yeah, and you have to be careful because sometimes people get offended when you do things like that.
When you overtip or undertip, it's
weird. You have to like really.
Didn't we have someone bring change on a tip because we tipped too much? Didn't like
no,
that
they
happen
were like they didn't. Someone put in like a 1 rand piece and she gave it back to them. They don't want the coins, they want the dollar bills, so they just gave it back.
Yeah, that was weird.
So it was a good trip.
It was amazing. Definitely want to go back.
And you guys can recount a lot of those tales on the Adulting and Easy episodes that have been happening this season.
It was a 3-part thing. We talked about it in depth, so definitely check that out on Adulting and Easy and to hear all about that. It was like there's like probably 5 hours. We had a couple over-hour episodes on that.
Oh, yeah.
So
nice.
a lot of lists. You can hear all about that because we did that from right when we got back, and it just keeps the story fresh. So definitely check that out.
Sweet. Adulting ain't easy.
Shall we?
Every other Wednesday. Are you guys ready to get into this drama?
Yeah, I am ready to argue.
Oh man, this was really, really hard.
Yeah.
We need to preface by saying that this is our part 1 of the season finale of Foodies Watching Movies Season 3. And just like last season, we did an Ultimate 80s movie bracket for fun. And it was really fun. We enjoyed doing that. It was really difficult. I think we ended up picking... Somehow The Breakfast Club was the Ultimate 80s movie, right?
Yeah, versus Ferris Bueller.
Well, this season we decided to do a 90s bracket. The Ultimate 90s bracket. Do you want to explain how you... Do you want to explain
how
this,
you
Nate?
arrived?
How we arrived at these brackets.
This is going to be very conflicting. It was difficult, and I don't like it. This is hard.
Before I dig into it, I just realized that next year when we do the 2000s bracket, we'll be able to do a 2010s bracket because we'll be finally in 2020.
Yes.
So we have at least 2 more seasons of this. Yes. Of complete decades. So I'm excited.
And then AP had an idea to take all the Final 4, Elite 8, and put them from 4 brackets into 1 mega bracket.
Well, I think that's a great idea. We've been having a lot of ideas about what we want to do with these brackets because honestly, this bracket was really hard for all of us to do, and it wasn't particularly enjoyable because I there was a lot of different ways we were going to do this. We had suggested dividing up the movies by categories, like genres of movies, ultimate 90s horror, ultimate 90s comedies, and we arrived at we're just going to do the ultimate 90s movie bracket with all of the movies that we pick and go really scientifically about this with scores.
Oh, yeah. I went ultra scientific. So
And
first
I'm not
of all,
happy with what happened.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Not happy.
But this is the way
Didn't
that
see how this how your list's going. You're like, oh, it'll be fine. And you're like, oh no.
I tried to be impartial. I tried to be fair, and I tried to consider everything that we learned from last year's bracket, right?
Well, I think that you put all of my picks next to each other, so they had to get fucking bumped out. Sabotage!
Is that how it happened?
Not true at all. Swear to
Oh,
God.
is that how that's how?
I'm so upset.
That's how
about
she
it.
So
sees it. But
explain
that's
the
okay.
process.
Okay, so you all turned in lists, including myself, of your top 25 movies. That way we have a good pool of the movies that people liked from that era. Everybody's a little bit different.
There's probably a lot of overlap.
There were several overlapping movies. I think there were over like 30 of the 75 movies. We had 30 or so overlapping. So when
I'm
you
bummed
have
some of mine didn't make the list.
when you have some that have multiple overlaps, I'm looking at you, Titanic.
Mhm.
It technically is rated higher in any tiebreaker, right? So if two different movies had the same score, the tiebreaker would be based on how many people had voted for that movie in their individual bracket. And then how did I get to the score? Well, that's easy. I went and I took the Metacritic rating versus the user rating and made an average. Once I figured that average out, I made the list. 4 1 seeds, 4 2 seeds, and so on until we were at 4 16 seeds, and we had all 64 films in location. And then once I had all the ones, all the twos, all the threes, all the fours to determine which area they went, I would go A, B, C, D, the first 4. So your ones were A, B, C, D. Then the twos were B, C, D, A. Then 3 was C, D, A, B, and so on, continuously rotating. So that would determine which area of the bracket your movie went to. So that's why you get things like some of the first round picks are because the A's lined up, the B's lined up, the C's lined up, and so on. That way it was completely random. I had no influence in who faced who, because last year I did try to do that, and it was difficult. Like who should technically face who, and I felt like I was picking a part of the thing that shouldn't be picked. It should be impartial.
You were setting it up the way you thought it should match up.
A little bit, and I didn't feel that was fair. So this year I tried this different route. It was like 7 hours or so of work. We finally got a bracket. It is crazy to talk about the movies that didn't make the list, that aren't on the bracket. Yeah, movies that didn't rank highly didn't make the bracket. And actually, I had to make one singular judgment call because I felt bad on a sympathy poll. Because no Adam Sandler movie at all made this list.
Well, we all picked an Adam Sandler movie. It
just wasn't the same
Poorly
one.
rated. Poorly rated,
We all
not
picked
the same one.
Did we all pick the same Adam Sandler movie?
I think you and I were the only ones that both picked Happy Gilmore, but there were other movies on the list, and I have the lists here.
Billy Madison's on the list.
Well, I added it because I took off Falling Down, which was a movie that only I had voted for.
And it was high. And it was high ranked.
And it was high ranked, and I thought, well, we'll put Billy Madison there to give it at least some fighting chance because it is worth having in a '90s bracket.
Adam Sandler was a big part of the '90s.
What happened
It was made in
to
the
So I Married an Axe Murderer?
No one had it on their list.
I don't know.
I thought I put it on my list.
V, here's your list right here.
I missed that one.
Let me see my list.
I missed it. It's one of my favorites.
The
I
old-
missed it on my list.
That's like one
The
of
only
my
time where like
favorites.
Mike Myers is Mike Myers and not a character.
Yeah, we forgot about it. We're terrible people.
The only movie that was on my list that didn't make it was Ace Ventura.
Which was the second lowest rated. It had
Was it the first one or the second one?
It was such a great '90s movie, though.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
see. Ace Ventura, where are you at?
Yeah, that was the only movie on my list that didn't make it onto
I
the
liked
bracket.
that both Austin Powers movies made it.
Oh, and Robin Hood Men in Tights didn't make it.
Carrie Ellis.
I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. That's my jam.
Did you guys watch all of Stranger Things season 3?
Not yet.
Oh, Carrie Ellis.
That's right. He's supposed to be in it, isn't he?
He's in about half the episodes. So you're
Shit,
like,
we're gonna need to watch that this weekend.
Of
guys.
all the '90s movies that were picked, the absolute lowest rated was I Know What You Did Last Summer. Which
that was the one
I actually like that movie.
Liz
I like that movie
Liz
as
had a
a
lot
kid.
of '90s horror.
Well,
in her.
I also read the book, so that's why I put it down.
I didn't know it was a book.
Yes.
There's a lot of things you don't think are books.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if all like the the ones that's like I still know what you did last summer and stuff.
All those are just
I think they might also be books, but I don't know if they followed anything past the first one. But that author's really good.
Oh, sweet. I'll need to check them out. I will say that what we're going to do this year is a little bit different. Instead of having everybody hold up a high or a low, we'll each take turns being like the lead of each round. We'll pass in our pick. That way it stays impartial. And then once we know who voted, we'll hand the cards back and keep going.
Okay. Good.
That way we
Does
aren't all
anybody-
holding it up and reading, and it makes it easier.
Sounds good. Does anybody want to talk first about any movies that they thought should be on this list before we get into it that didn't make the cut? I said mine.
I don't think I had one that I put on there that I can't think of one that I had that didn't make it on the list.
Yeah, I don't think I had any either. Mine were
All
good.
your picks made it?
I think so.
or a good chunk
I don't
of them.
know. I need to look at mine.
There's some that
what
I didn't
ended
have
up
on my
with.
list, and I'm happy still made it on.
Yeah, I think I
'Cause
took
it was like-
Twister off and then put it, and then someone put it back in. I was like, oh,
Mine was the
okay.
birdcage. I was like, I got to the end, I'm like, oh, I should have put the birdcage, and I was like, on the list, I'm like, all right, we're good.
I got
Because I was
I
like,
got
to like
you.
25, and I was like, oh, there's all these. Because I remember I have the list I had written down, which I think is in the kitchen. I like had after I went through them, like, there's other movies, so I started thinking and like looking stuff up, and I was like, okay, there's like these 8 movies. I'm like, well, I'll swap that out and that out and that. All right, now we're good. But
The only movie that didn't make the list on my list was a movie that didn't even exist in the 90s, so we are lucky that it missed as the Pretty Woman era of last season. I put Little Nicky on my list, but it was actually a movie that came out in 2000.
it was filmed in
That don't
99,
count.
so it's probably
So it
That
doesn't.
don't count.
It doesn't
That
count.
doesn't count. It's
No.
when it entered
2000
when it
was a
entered
different
theaters.
beast, baby.
Had to enter the theaters that time.
1999 was like a crazy year for movies, but we don't need to talk about that right now.
I have a book that I just got. I checked out from the library that's about 1999 as the year
Really?
of films.
Yeah, because they say like
It's like
historically 1939 was the golden era of movies, golden age of movies, and then 1999 was like the second one.
Yeah, because there's like that's when like
all those movies.
I mean, a
came
lot
out.
of these movies are from '99. It seems like a good
Yeah.
chunk of them.
Yeah, 1999 was a good year for movies.
Like Harry Potter, Fight Club, all of it.
Not Harry Potter.
Is that Harry Potter? Oh no, it was
No,
2001.
that was like 2000.
No, there's a
Save
bunch
that for
of
next year.
Yeah.
2000s. All
Where
Harry
I'm just
Potter.
like, no Harry. No.
The 2010s are going to be tough because that's when the MCU is like.
That's
a
when Nate's
thing.
gonna have a hard time to
You might
eliminate.
just have to
Nate's
make
gonna
your own
concede.
bracket for MCU.
That's when there's not to be a superhero. There's not have to do quads. of,
Once
like,
we get
superhero-
to 64 MCU movies, yeah, we'll
that
make
can
a
be
bracket.
a
That'd be fun.
separate
Thing.
that could be a separate
the
podcast
superhero.
for Journey into Comics.
Fair.
Well, 2000 won't be too bad because that only has a handful of movies.
Yeah, some of them. Are
The
really
Spider-Mans
good,
and the.
though. Early X-Men.
All right, so how are we breaking this up? Or what side are we doing? A side or are we doing quadrants on this one?
I think we were gonna do sides.
Which side do you want to start with? We got the Pulp Fiction side or the Toy Story side?
Let's just get Pulp Fiction stuff out that side because that was the hardest.
The
for
hard
me.
side.
That was the hardest side.
I'm gonna say that both of these sides were stupidly hard.
Yeah, they were
I'm
rough.
really displeased that I had to do this, and all of these movies are my favorites.
Yeah.
So going forward, all of these movies are our favorites.
All
And
these
they
movies are
all
our
win. They
favorite.
all win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the 64 best films of the 90s in our opinion.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We'll start at the top with Pulp Fiction versus Romeo and Juliet. That's Pulp Fiction as a 1 seed, the high seed. Romeo and Juliet is the low seed. If you would like to turn your card in to me now or pass them down to Sarah, AP, you want to pass me yours? The high seed or low seed, whatever you're voting for. And once I have them, we'll turn them around and we'll determine what we have here. I need to get mine, which
Maybe
is
we
this
should
one.
just like hold them up.
Yeah,
all
I
at the
don't think
same
anyone
time.
would care if they held them up.
Well, we have a unanimous in the first one because all 5 of us are
Pulp
putting the
Fiction.
high seed in. So
As much
Which
as
sucks because Romeo and Juliet was really
Leonardo DiCaprio,
good. I
Romeo and
love
Juliet?
Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
Was What's Being Gilbert great? Was that a 90s movie or an 80s movie?
That was a 90s
It was
movie.
a 90s movie.
Oh,
That was on my. Oh no, I didn't put that on my list because I didn't think it would be.
Too sad.
It was too sad.
Oh well.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
who wants to read next?
So the next one up is The Crow, which is the high seed.
Good.
Barely. Versus 7, which is the low seed. They're both 8 and 9. So they're both neck and neck with each other.
Are we just gonna hold them up?
We'll just hold them up.
You'll have to pass them back then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
What do we got?
Liz picked high. I picked low. Sarah low. Nate
Oh
high.
my gosh!
Oh,
the
no.
crow has
Low.
upset.
Goodbye.
7. Oh,
You know,
7 for the win.
I don't want to get into the crow, you guys.
I love 7.
I loved 7 too.
7
but I
was a
think,
better story.
I think Crow is a more cult film.
I don't care about that.
I just don't
It was
care.
the better movie.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think the
What's
crow
in the
was that good.
More bad luck for Brandon.
Wow.
Did you hear
Wow. That's why I'm
What?
saying wow.
Oh, more
You're-
bad luck for Brandon.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's so bad.
R.I.P.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
I was reading that whole thing about
Next bracket.
because the whole Leafin has been back in the news because of featuring him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, they
So
were.
it all-
The family was pretty pissed off about the
How they
portrayal of Bruce
characterized
Lee in
him.
the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I
And then,
still want to see that movie though. I
and then
haven't
Quentin
seen
Tarantino
it.
was like, I don't care. Moving on. Like, oh damn.
It's like I got it.
He's a very interesting direct. Like his personality
He's
is
just an
very.
interesting bird.
Is that the-
Totally.
Yeah. All right.
Next.
I can read that one.
Go
So we
for
got
it.
Titanic. This was
This one was ridiculous.
Mine is
This
like
shouldn't be against each other.
Okay, so we have our our high seed is Titanic, which is number 5, and then Wayne's World is number 12, which is our low seed. And like this was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was probably like one of the, and I'm probably gonna be like the very small, the minority in this one of which one I picked. So yeah,
You know what I need to say? My decision basing, like, I had a hard time deciding why I was choosing certain movies because of how strange it was.
To justify
So,
it.
like, I think what I ended up doing was like, okay, which ones did I actually watch more?
Yeah, what
Not
would
which
come
one
on right now and I'd want to put on.
Yeah,
Right.
that I would continue to watch to the end. That's
Like if
how
you
I
watched
did
like
it.
when it came out in the 90s, what did you actually watch?
That I actually
There's something
watch
you love
over and
now
over.
as an adult
Yep.
when you revisit it. Like
Yep, that's how I did it.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. How many we got? I can't see all
It's
of them.
3.
4 to 1.
am I the lone high seed
yay,
here?
Wayne's World. I'm so
Oh.
happy.
Liz
I
picked
thought I was
Titanic.
You
Oh,
know
that's
we were
so
going
s-
to pick Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
Oh, Titanic is my childhood though.
I loved
No.
Titanic.
Near far
I went
wherever
to
you are.
the Titanic
Well, yeah.
exhibit
Too
in
bad.
Vegas. I went
Our
to the
hearts have
Titanic
moved
exhibit in
on
Chicago.
to Wayne's World.
Damn. I have books on the that thing just the nerd in me spoke to like the whole deep sea part of it and then the story. It's all good.
Yeah.
I had the double VHS tape set.
I did. I
Like,
still do.
I think I had 2 of them.
I always ever only watched the first one, and then as soon as that tape was over, I'd say, "Okay, they lived happily ever after the end." And then I
Did
wouldn't
it
put
right
the
before
second
it
one
struck
on.
the iceberg?
Yeah.
It was
Or right after?
It was. Yeah, it was
Remember how
like
it's-
right before. It was like right after they hit the iceberg, and they're like, "Oh, we
When
better,
they're just doing the
we
dance.
better go see what's going on."
When they're
And
just
then it's
dancing
like
on the
end
below
tape.
decks, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no, they were fine. They got off fine, and they lived happily ever after."
Yeah.
And
And everybody made it off.
All right,
It's been 84
Nate, what do you
years.
think about the next one?
It's going to be difficult. V, you want to read the next one?
yeah, in the high seed, we got The Usual Suspects versus 10 Things I Hate About You in the low.
Ooh.
This one was rough too for me because I hadn't seen either of them, so I had no clue what to like.
Oh,
You haven't
yeah.
seen. You
No.
haven't seen either of these movies.
No,
You
so
gotta
I
watch
just kind of
Usual Suspects.
I picked based on like social media.
I have
shows,
to.
like memes. I literally based it on memes.
Okay,
It's so
okay.
bad.
I have not. Well, I need to rewatch it because I've watched it when it first came out, but I do not remember the story.
Of Usual
Of
Suspects.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
I remember the majority of it, but I feel like I need to rewatch it now as an adult.
It's Shakespeare.
Because I watched it in the 90s.
It's the it's the
It
Taming
was,
of the Shrew.
Wasn't
Yeah.
this the first? Was it the first American movie that Heath Ledger did?
No, I think he did A Knight's Tale first.
Was Night Tale before this?
No, A
No,
Knight's Tale was
was
after.
Was The Patriot before this?
I think that was like all right around.
Is it
the
all
same
like in like the
time.
same couple years?
Yeah, it's all a blur. I miss him. He
Mm-hmm.
was such a good actor.
Totally. Best
Well,
Joker.
All right.
I guess how do we see?
Okay, 1,
For now.
2, 3.
What did I pick? Oh, this one.
All right, we got how many?
10 things.
Oh.
10 things.
Oh, and Andrew's still the
I'm-
The
oddball.
low.
What?
Yeah.
Why can I like what I like?
I mean,
I
you
really
can.
like The Usual Suspects.
That's such
like,
a-
that
I
was
love
a
that
great
twist.
ending. The Kaiser Sose thing. That was
Oh.
great. But 10
Well,
Things
have,
I Hate
have
About
fun
You.
picking Wayne's World versus
So
the
great.
10 Things I Hate About You, though.
Oh, I already know what's gonna. We'll figure it out.
Sarah, you want to
Moving
take the
on.
next one?
Sure. Where are we at?
6
Goodwill
versus
Hunting.
Right
11.
after 10 Things.
Oh, we have on the high seed Good Will Hunting, and on the low seed, interestingly, Dogma.
Both films produced by Kevin Smith.
How about them apples, bitch?
Yeah.
Applesauce, bitch.
I don't know about them apples, Will. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Applesauce, bitch. Anyway.
All right.
All right, are we going to flip them?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I'm probably the one.
Oh, she's the only one.
Wow.
Liz.
Okay, I haven't.
Liz.
Again, this is one where I did not see Dogma, so
Aren't you Catholic?
What?
Aren't you?
I am.
I don't know if you should watch Dogma.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not
Catholic and I
super
love Dogma.
Okay.
Dogma's for everyone.
Yeah, I guess
Dogma's for
Dogma-
everyone.
Kevin Smith doing religion's always fun.
Yes.
Like Red State's
Yeah.
also a great religion.
Awful. So hard to watch that movie.
Red State?
Yeah.
Red State's
tough.
dark.
That movie was tough.
John Goodman's great in that movie. But it's
We're
dark.
not going to talk about that movie.
No.
No,
Moving on. Dogma for the win. Next one.
Shawshank is the high seed and Mrs. Doubtfire is the low seed. It's real
What a
easy.
stupid
it's
combination.
Real easy.
Are we ready, guys?
Yeah.
1,
No one's
2,
gonna pick
3.
Oh, I was the only.
Me and Sarah both picked Mrs. Doubtfire.
Shawshank Redemption was too depressing.
I love that
I
movie.
love Shawshank.
Guys, it's always
Oh, it's a
on
good
when you're on
movie.
vacation
Mrs.
and you're at the
Doubtfire?
hotel. It's like always on like ABC or AMC.
It is.
I watched it when I was in Ohio. It was on real late at night, and
Yeah.
I was up and I was like bawling. Like,
The courtroom scene's the roughest part.
yeah.
When it's like, I think it's just a great performance by a gifted actor. No, it's real. He feels that. Don't take his
Shawshank
kids
was-
away from him.
That was an excellent movie. It
Oh,
was an
so
excellent
good.
movie, but if I'm going to have to pick between the two, I'm going to want to watch Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's where I went. I don't want to watch
Happy
the
memory.
Shawshank Redemption again.
Mrs.
Once was
Doubtfire as an
enough.
adult
Enough.
is fucked up, though. Because, like, what this person does in this movie is
Oh yeah, it's
super
totally
fucked
messed up. A lot of '90s movies are like that. Like,
Yeah,
why
they
did they
are.
let this
Mrs.
go on?
Doubtfire?
They all are.
You know, if someone tried doing that now, they would be
They
severely
would be arrested.
They are
And
not for
DCFS
2019.
would come and be a big
No.
thing.
Yeah.
Also, the drag aspect of that would have been just. Oh, they tried to make this movie now. It would not go over.
Oh no,
well.
that's praise.
Oh, no, because if
Oh,
he
that's
did it,
good in
if it was
2019.
like 2019, then he wouldn't be in the wrong and he wouldn't get fired. Like, none of these bad things would happen because that's just his lifestyle choice.
Yeah,
in
but the
2019.
deception is not so good.
Correct.
That's what's not so good.
Yeah, it'll.
But he could have just lied and said that was
Oh,
like
Pierce
his lifestyle
Brosnan that
choice.
movie.
Oh,
Just being
yeah,
like
he was
that-
such a twat.
Well, we lost. Moving on.
Not salty or anything.
Shit,
All
we
right.
lost.
So next up we have Pleasantville in the low seed and Clueless in the high seed.
No,
Other
you
way.
flipped it.
Vice
around.
versa.
Oh,
Pleasantville
sorry,
is in the high seed.
and
Clueless is in the low.
Sorry, not to.
This was a
confuse
stupid pairing because
Stupid.
I love both movies.
anyone. But Pleasantville is such a great movie.
Pleasantville was an excellent movie.
Again, I haven't seen Pleasantville.
Oh, Liz, please, if you're going to do anything at all this weekend, watch Pleasantville.
Do I
Yeah,
have
that's
it? I think
You're
I
going
have
to
it.
love
We can
it.
watch it.
It's so wonderful.
Such a good movie. All right.
You're going to love it.
So
3,
up.
2, 1.
Oh.
Oh, AP and I.
Oh, mixed bag.
So we
Oh,
got
Clueless
I
wins.
Clueless.
me,
hell yeah.
you and me were.
Yeah.
Clueless
Oh,
was more 90s to
I
me.
loved the cinematography of that.
You
Tobey
know what?
Maguire and
You know what's
Kirsten.
funny, though, is I wrote down Clueless on my bracket,
Reese
and I
Witherspoon,
just
isn't it?
picked Pleasantville in my head.
Oh, no.
Shit. Okay.
wasn't it Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire as
Yeah.
the kids? Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I cheated. I wrote down Clueless, and I changed my mind while we were talking about it because I wasn't thinking, and picked Pleasantville because it was such a good movie.
Freaking,
That's funny.
What's his name? The guy in that movie.
In what movie?
William H. Macy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And Mrs. Stark. Wasn't that his wife?
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Stark.
Wasn't that
Catelyn Stark?
Catelyn Stark from Game of Thrones? Was she
Yes,
his wife in that?
it was. Oh my God, you just helped me out so much. Ever since Game of Thrones started, I was like, where the fuck have I seen that woman before? There it was. You did it. Whoa.
Mystery's over.
Mystery solved.
All right, moving on.
Dun, dun.
Mystery solved. And the final first matchup for our first bout of 16 here, we have Aladdin as the 2 seed versus Death Becomes Her as the 15 seed. This is a very, 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 very difficult, I think, decision to be made. But let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Come on, you know I love that movie.
Death Becomes
I love
Her.
Aladdin, but
3-2, Death Becomes Her.
That is a huge upset.
Again, I haven't seen that movie.
My stuff.
Oh man, it's a good one.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think-
Oh, it's
I
a
know,
real
it's
good
like
one.
I didn't even.
Halloween's coming,
I think
guys.
most
Death
of this-
Becomes Her.
I think most of this quadrant I lost out on.
Sorry, guys.
I only had 2 that I missed in the first quadrant. But now that we're moving into the next round, who would like to start in our 1 versus 16 part 2?
Sarah. No. Called out.
What?
We're just going down this left side still, right?
Yeah, still on the left side.
So, next up would be Saving Private Ryan versus Hook. Saving Private Ryan is high, Hook is low. I don't know how we choose this, but I chose something. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Am
Pick
I
the low.
one?
Liz is the only one who picked Saving
depressing.
Private Ryan.
Wow.
Too depressing.
It was too sad for
Robin
me.
Williams needs some love.
I love Robin Williams.
I will watch
A lot of
Hook.
people did not like that Hook was on our bracket when we posted this on Facebook the other day.
Pissed.
It was hilarious.
Shots fired.
I lost my marbles.
I love Hook. It's a good one.
Julia Roberts
Fuck the
as
fans.
Tinkerbell is just the most random. Like, who's
Oh
in
my
love
God, I know.
with-
Julia
she was in love
Roberts.
with Peter. And I was
Can't
like,
stand
Yeah,
her.
that was
you don't
the
like Julia
best.
Roberts?
I love her movies, but I can't stand Julia Roberts.
As a
but I
person?
love all of her movies.
Yeah.
It's a really
that
weird thing.
weird?
Like, I love all your work and just hate you as a person.
Exactly. I don't hate her. I just really don't like her.
Do you find her grating or something? I don't-
Yeah, she's super annoying. Her fucking face. She's got so many teeth in her mouth.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I didn't hate it.
That's like hating Morgan Freeman's voice. Come on.
Oh.
No, I can't stand her.
Oh, that's
but I
funny.
love all of her movies.
I
I'm a
just
sucker
like
for a
Parks and
chick
Rec
flick.
when Nick Offerman or when Ron John's like, is that toothy girl from from Mystic Pizza? Like, no.
I love Mystic Pizza. That's one of my favorite movies.
That's too
Anyway.
many teeth.
All right, let's go back. Where are we
Next.
at?
So we're on 8
To
and
more
9.
fun.
So Jurassic Park is the high seed, and Galaxy Quest is the low seed.
Oh,
I know what you're going to pick,
Brutal.
Nathaniel.
All right.
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
oh,
Oh,
Come on.
AP's the odd man out.
come on, Tim
Jurassic
Allen.
Park.
Jurassic Park for the win.
All
It was
right.
it was such
And it
a,
exploded.
turn its head out.
Okay, next one.
Oh, this was a hard one.
You want to take this one?
Yes, but
Sarah?
it was easy in my heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Both
high
are so good in
seed
their own
is high seed is Forrest Gump, and low seed is What About Bob?
I love
Just
What About Bob?
One of my favorite movies
Both
ever.
movies are so good.
Yeah, I know.
So similar.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I picked the low. I was the only one.
Sarah, pick What About Bob?
I love that
I love
movie.
that movie.
Bill Murray needs love.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yes.
that Liz, you and Sarah both had What About Bob on your list.
Yes, and it was like a
Yeah.
random, like, after we had gone through like a bunch of lists on the internet, and I was like, was What About Bob a 90s movie? And we had to look it up. I'm like, yeah, but
It's a great
it was
movie.
sad that it was up against Forrest Gump because that is
Yeah.
like one of my
This is our
all-time
hands down
favorite
favorite.
movies.
It's, yeah. I
And
think
you'll
it's
see
the
if we
better
ever,
movie.
when we get to the end, because are we going to share like what made it to the very top
I think
at
we're-
next episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it, yeah.
Okay. Next,
All right.
Edward Scissorhands versus Twister.
I'm
How
sure-
is
I feel
that
like
even
Veronica's
real?
probably like, what the hell?
I was super pissed because these were both on my list. And Twister is like one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, it's ridiculous
The
how
reason
much
this
I love
podcast
this
started.
movie. I mean, our very first episode, we were talking about Twister because we're dorks,
Rabbit is good, rabbit is wise.
and we're so ridiculous that we probably quote it at least once a day in
Yeah,
some
we
form
try
or
to.
fashion. Yesterday we were driving. I was like, "Fuck, we're like on Bob's Road." Yeah, at least once a day there's
Such
a Twister's quote.
Such a great movie for the time. Like the special effects and everything, it all worked out.
Yeah. And the Twister ride at Universal Studios in Florida was like so fun and immersive, like just like being in the movie.
Very windy.
They even had a flying cow.
I love it.
All right.
All right, you guys
All
ready
right,
to vote
what are we
it up?
doing? Twister versus Edward Scissorhands, which is also a really
Yeah, I love
Great
that
movie.
one. It was
Ready?
a hard one to choose.
Set, go. Oh no,
Oh.
did I lose?
Liz lost
no.
out.
It was a really close
Edward
call for
Scissorhands
me.
lost.
Well,
I've
again,
actually
so
never seen Edward
sad.
Scissorhands.
Yeah, it's so
You've
sad.
never seen it?
I've never seen it.
That's
I've seen
wrong
bits
with
and
you.
pieces, but I've never actually seen the whole movie. I don't know how it ends.
Oh,
It's so sad.
Yeah.
I know
really,
he becomes a hairstylist.
It's
That's as far as
touching and
that's as much as I
sad.
know.
Does he become a hairstylist?
I think he becomes a hairstylist, and
Oh,
doesn't he kill Winona Ryder in that movie?
No.
I don't
Just
know. I need to
watch
watch
this
it.
movie later. It's on like Netflix.
It's very
Check it out.
bittersweet.
I'm pretty sure I
ending.
have the movie. I just need to watch it.
It's really sad for me. I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Johnny Depp is a great character actor.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to take the next one?
You should.
Or I
Okay.
should,
You should.
whatever.
Go ahead.
Oh.
All right. So the high seed is Men in Black, and the low seed is Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. And I'm so
Austin Powers too.
I just love Austin Powers. So
He's
The Spy Who Shagged Me was the second one.
Yes, this is the one with
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham.
Could be like Felicity.
Well, her name. Well, isn't her name in the
Felicity
in the movie is Felicity?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it was like. Is it Felicity Huffman? No, it's not. It's
No, it
Heather
was
Graham.
Felicity.
It was Vanessa, then Felicity, and then Foxy Cleopatra.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Beyonce
But that
knows.
one's a 2000. It was
Right.
made in 2000.
I love gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gold member.
I love it.
All right,
All right.
ready? One. I already know. 1, 2, 3. I'm
Men in Black.
Oh, we picked.
Oh.
I'm
Mixed
surprised
Sarah
that you
can't see.
didn't
Oh, yeah.
pick Men in Black.
Austin
course, I
Powers
had
always
to
has a
pick
place
Men
in
in
my
Black.
heart.
I know. I probably was way too young to watch all those.
The first Men in Black is
Austin
Me
the best Men in
too.
Black,
I
though.
still have my VHS
Men in
copies
Black
of
2
both
is
of
not
them.
great. Men in Black 3 is okay.
So
The reboot I heard got dragged pretty well. I never saw it. The new
Yeah,
one.
the third one was really horrible.
No, the fourth
the
one.
Men
the
in
fourth
Black.
one.
The one with
International. Men in Black
Oh, I
International.
thought we were
Sorry.
still talking about Austin Powers. My bad.
No.
What are we talking about?
Men in Black International.
I
I
haven't
heard it
seen
did
that.
not
No, I didn't see any of
get
those.
well reviewed.
The original one's the only one I care about.
The original.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I like the actress who was the.
In Thor.
No, not the first one. She was the one. She became an agent at the very end.
Oh yeah.
Dark
I
hair
can't
girl.
think
She
of
was
her
also
name,
in
though.
Dogma.
Yeah, she was in
Yes.
Dogma.
Whatever. I can't remember her name now.
She is
She's
very
the
dry
Scion.
voice.
She's the
The
scion.
last
Christ,
Scion.
the Scion is with you?
Yeah.
Jason Lee.
Yeah.
So this next mashup was ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. This really, whatever you pick, it really tells what kind of person you are.
Let's
Yeah,
draw a line in the
whatever.
sand, guys.
I
You
think
ready?
so. Here we go.
Silence of the Lambs versus
Disney has not fared well so far
Pocahontas.
this draft.
no.
Yeah.
Disney didn't really.
Well, there really wasn't that many on this side. The other side is where we have more of the. Disney.
Oh, a lot of animated.
Yeah, we still have a whole other section to go through. But yeah, are we ready? In the high seed, Silence of the Lambs. Low seed, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh, Liz and Nate both picked Pocahontas.
Yeah. You guys are all
What the fuck?
fucked up.
Thank you.
Of the wind.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I just
Silence
Anthony
of the Lambs for the win.
Hopkins. Come on.
No,
I'm-
yeah, no.
It's
It's
in
a
our it's in our
classic.
theme song.
No, I get it.
It's
I'm totally
no-
fine with that, but I'm
there's
just
no
like,
colors of the wind in our theme song. We have to pick something.
There's no colors of the wind in our theme song.
I mean, there's always a time for change.
yeah.
So,
It's gonna be in the next intro. It's just,
no.
can you taste with all
It's
the
my Native
colors of
American
the
heritage that made me decide to vote for that movie.
No,
I
I used to
loved that
watch
movie.
Pocahontas religiously.
Same.
I
I
loved
love
that
that movie,
movie.
genuinely. It was very
I loved
good.
all those Disney movies. I was such a Disney movie kid.
Mm-hmm.
And all those are gonna be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Aren't they releasing them in waves, and then eventually it's just gonna be all of them?
Yeah, I think it's like chunks at a time.
Not trying to overwhelm their servers.
Yeah.
So, well, let's
People would
move
be watching
on.
Pocahontas like
Okay.
50 times a day.
Ooh, I wanted to say this one.
Do it. Go
'Cause
for it.
This kind of could be hard for those who like horror movies, but
Let me-
maybe not really.
Let me preface this too with one thing. One of these movies technically makes this onto the thing because really the high seed that you're about to announce, I'm not going to spoil it, was a TV movie.
Right.
That they put into a VHS that was mostly distributed as a movie.
Two
And that's
VHSs,
where-
wasn't it?
Thank
'Cause it
you.
was so
Two
long.
VHSs, yeah.
I got the DVD.
So that's where it really got its muster, but it did make the list. So please
yeah,
continue.
So the high seed is It, the first movie that came out in the 90s.
Tim
And then-
Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry. And then the low seed is the Blair Witch Project. So
movie scared
I
the
feel
shit
like,
out of me.
I feel like if you're really into horror, this could be extremely hard. For me, it wasn't.
The first found
because
footage
I'm
film.
also I don't know. It's just
Liz, both these movies were on your list, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All probably a majority of the horror movies on here I had on mine. except for the ones I didn't see.
Totally.
So
Are we ready?
all right,
So again, high seed is 7 is It, low seed Blair Witch Project is 10.
ready, set, go.
Oh, I can't believe I did this, but I picked this low one for some reason.
Is that not what you wanted?
Oh no, I remember why I picked it because I thought it was the more interesting and groundbreaking of the movies.
True. It's spawned a genre.
I think Stephen King is Stephen King, and he's always going to be, that it's like a classic movie. But it like scared the absolute living shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Blair Witch Project sort of like started a genre of its own.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose that one.
It was more revolutionary of a movie.
Yeah, that movie.
And the ending was so
I remember
fucking
being
creepy.
in high school not knowing, people really didn't know whether it was real or not.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
They really didn't know. And like it was a thing.
Like, people thought it was
yeah.
legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a good job with the marketing on that
people
movie.
really disappeared.
Okay, well I lost, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Blair Witch Project was terrifying and made me scared to go camping because my house was like next to woods. And
Oh yeah, you've got a creepy
totally.
Blair Witch house.
my mom's a stinker, and she would like leave little like things outside my door
Totems and
sometimes.
stuff. Yeah.
Weird totems and stuff just to freak me out. Just like when I was little,
Your
she
mom's
would.
just cause some problems. No.
She does. When I was little, and I
Didn't she
watched
leave you by a
Children of the
cornfield?
Corn, she would drive really slow and like just stop and like unroll my window when we were in a cornfield because we lived in Indiana, so they were everywhere, and she'd just do it to fuck with me because she thought it was so funny, and I'd be like, "Stop it! I don't want to go."
Wow.
And she'd like hum the theme song from Children of the Corn.
It's just grumpy.
It's all in jest. So it won. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
It.
And the final one of the first side of the round one is the high seed being the Iron Giant, the animated film, uncut, a very good gem of a film. And the 15, which is the low seed, Mallrats, which is a personal favorite of a lot of people.
Also, I've never seen that.
You've
You
seen
guys are
either
gonna
of them?
kill
What?
me. By the end of this, you guys are gonna be like, you just need to sit
She doesn't- I
down
don't think you've seen
And
any
have a
Kevin Smith
slumber
films, have you?
party movie
Yeah.
watching.
This-
thing?
this
Oh,
is
the
only
Mallrats
seen- you
is
saw
a
that
very
horror
slumber
film.
party
You saw
movie.
Tusk
Totally.
and Yoga Hosers.
Oh, what weird ones to
What?
watch.
Didn't you see Yoga Hosers? No, you just saw
No,
Tusk.
I just seen Tusk. That's it.
Oh, Tusk.
Let's vote.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Am I the only one?
Yeah.
You're the only
Yeah.
one
Low,
who picked
low.
Iron Giant.
I love the Iron
That's
Giant.
Mallrats for the
alright.
win.
The best Superman film.
Okay, so now as we go through again, we're going to do it a little speed round. We'll each read a section until we get to the finals. So we'll just blow through them.
How are we
Just
doing
go
this
in order.
now? Because we were
Well, I
picking
have
different ones.
I have the master, so I could just
Correct.
read them all.
You're
It's not
gonna,
a big
yeah,
deal.
you'll
Sure,
have to
sure,
read them
sure.
because ours don't matter now.
Right. Our
Yeah.
sheets are
Now
Yeah.
we're making a new one.
Yeah, so our new, now starting from the top again on this side, I don't know. Would
So are
you
we doing top
consider-
to bottom now? High seed, low seed? Is that how we're
Yeah,
gonna do
so
it?
the
Yeah,
high
same.
seed in this one is Pulp Fiction. The low seed is 7. Ready, set, go. What do we got? I can't
Close.
3 to 2, Pulp Fiction.
All right,
That was a hard
Pulp
one
Fiction.
because
Love-
7 is also
love me
that
some
kind of
7.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the box?
Yeah,
here we go.
it's-
Here's another one. Well, I don't. This one could be tricky too. So
This one
next
sucked.
one, high seed, Wayne's World. Low seed, 10 Things I Hate About You.
This one's gonna hurt, guys.
Yeah, has everyone got it?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Unanimous?
Our first unanimous.
Oh.
Wayne's World.
Thank God. I was
Wayne's
a little.
World.
I was
Wayne's
really
World.
worried that it was gonna get dropped off, but
I'm from Wilmette.
yeah.
My mom dropped me off in the parking lot.
Man, Bob Odenkirk.
All right.
Okay.
Next one, high seed, Dogma. Low seed, Shawshank Redemption.
I
This
think
one's
that's
gonna be-
backwards.
No.
Dogma is an 11 seed
we're
versus
doing it by
Shawshank.
No, I'm
top-
just doing it by top to bottom.
Top bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, that's my mistake.
Yeah, we're not doing it that way.
Okay, so Dogma's the high seed.
Yeah, Dogma's high seed, Shawshank is low seed.
Okay.
Ready, set, go. How did I get? I got fucked, didn't I?
Too depressing.
Yep.
Darn it.
Good movie.
Love Shawshank, but Dogma's my choice.
But we don't. This is the Wild West of like decision making
That
here.
is
We didn't
true.
have any focus. There was no questions to
And
consider.
we can have a
Yeah.
whole redemption episode if we need to.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, high seed is Clueless, and low seed is Death Becomes Her.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, are we
Mm-hmm.
ready? Set, go.
Shit.
No, I needed this one.
I was gonna pick it, and I just
So
You
it's-
fool.
So we got Clueless.
Clueless.
You've lost.
Oh man,
Ugh.
I could have brought it through.
You've lost.
Shit, I love that movie.
Is Death Becomes Her good?
Yes,
so
it's
good.
one of my
yeah.
Who's in
favorites.
Bruce
Goldie
Willis,
Hawn, Bruce Willis,
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Amazing. You guys got to watch it this Halloween. Everybody should.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, the high seed is Hook, and the low seed is Jurassic Park.
All
All
right.
right, ready, steady, go.
Boing.
Low.
You knew everybody was gonna pick
I
that.
know. I just got to.
I saw that look on your face.
I
It's
was
like,
like,
I'm gonna pick the high instead.
Jurassic Park.
I like Hook. It's so good. It's no Jurassic Park, but it's still a good movie.
Jurassic Park for the win.
Alrighty. Oh, this one might be hard for you, Veronica. Next one is high seed Forrest Gump, low seed Twister.
Oh.
And if this gets knocked off, I'm going to be really upset.
Liz
But-
loves Twister.
Here we go.
Three.
Ready?
Two.
3,
One.
2, 1.
Oh shit, I dropped it. Low.
Hooray! Forrest
Sorry,
Gump!
everybody.
What?
Yes.
Sarah betrayal on
It was the
that.
better. Forrest Gump is the better movie.
No.
I agree.
Twister's the more like.
Forrest Gump is it just has such a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
All right.
upset.
Next, high seed Men in Black, low seed Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
So,
How do I choose that?
I don't know, man.
What?
I don't know. All right, are we ready?
No, what was it again? Men in Black.
Men in Black is high, Silence of the Lambs is low.
Oh.
The nice Chianti.
Ready?
Hello, Clarice.
Okay.
Steady. Go.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
I picked Men in Black.
It was. It was.
It was the more fun movie.
90s. That hurt.
I love me
I
some
sent that
Jodie
picture
Foster
of
though.
The Chianti
Yeah.
to the Facebook group, and I was just like, "Oh, some fava beans are nice," and I just sent the picture of the Chianti.
That was hilarious. What's next?
All right. Then the last one for this section, for second round, it is the high seed and Mallrats is the low seed.
Oh shit.
It's just gonna get harder, people.
One
I'm
is a
telling you,
clear
I'm looking
winner,
at this
but-
right now. I mean, I'm already looking at this.
Yep.
We're so fucked. I'm so
right.
fucked. All right, ready?
Oh, man.
Steady. Oh yeah, I knew. Oh,
I'm
dude.
on board with you as the better
Close.
It was
movie.
close.
I like Mallrats
Close.
better, but the better
What one?
movie is Steve
Mallrats.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good.
That was hard. I almost picked randomly.
Yeah, there's two Kevin
Dogma and
Smith
Mallrats,
movies
all
are
right.
still in for
Are they,
this
are they
side.
against each other?
No,
Not yet.
we'll see. All right, going back. This is start of round 3
gonna hurt.
for the left side. So we've got high seed is Pulp Fiction, low seed Wayne's World.
Oh!
This is gonna hurt some hearts right here.
They've both been my night-night
No.
movies on and off for so long.
So
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Pulp
this
Fiction was
is
your
great.
night movie?
Yeah.
ready. So it's
No,
this is
I'm
gonna
not
be like a
ready.
ready
I think
aim
I'm
fire.
I
And
might
then
just
this
have
is
to
gonna
go.
kill some.
I might have to
people.
randomize this.
I
don't know what to do. I don't know how to choose.
I know what I'm doing.
Let me
Yeah.
think. Let me think.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Yeah. 3,
Oh wait, what was the options
2.
again?
Pulp Fiction,
is
Wayne's
high
World.
or low?
Pulp
High.
Fiction's high. Wayne's World's low.
Ready,
3,
steady,
2.
go. Oh no! Oh no!
I believe I'm doing this.
Oh yes!
Oh, we
Oh,
my god!
No, this is
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
Did you
travesty.
get bumped from the list?
I can't
Totally.
believe that just happened.
Bullshit.
I wrote down,
Do you have Pulp Fiction winning
guys.
at all?
I had
What are
Pulp
you
Fiction
doing?
winning it all.
What are you doing? Voting against yourself. What are you doing?
She voted for the upset.
It's the pressure.
We all voted at the same
Pressure
time. I
got
didn't cheat.
you.
I just was thinking about it. I was just like,
All I could think about, and her name was Cassandra, and then I chose.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Next,
I can't believe I did that. I
Next
just ruined my
one.
whole paper.
You fool.
this one might be tricky too.
ruined your
So
whole
we
paper.
so the next one is high seed Dogma, low seed Clueless.
Oh.
Dogma and Clueless.
Favorite movie, and you're blowing it. All right, I got mine. You know,
All right.
I got
I
mine.
feel like I'm gonna fuck it up, or I'm not gonna fuck it up. It's just not gonna win. But all right,
3.
ready, set, go.
Yeah.
I figured.
Dogma.
We're
Dogma.
Dogma fans here.
I
Fan
mean,
of Dogma?
Clueless. I had it going pretty far.
Yeah. All
It
right.
was between Clueless and
This
Pulp
one also
Fiction on
could
my
be
paper.
tricky. I mean, as we go down, all gonna be hard. But next is high seed, Jurassic Park, low seed, Forrest Gump.
Ooh.
So do with it as you will.
Oh no, this is brutal. This is.
All right.
Oh.
Ready, steady, go. Did I get it fucked? I got fucked. I had that one. I had Forrest Gump going all the way. But I think that's because it's my all-time favorite movie.
It's such a
Yeah,
good
personal
movie.
preference does matter in this.
Yeah,
You know, that's
so-
one thing.
Wild
that's
West.
It's all good.
Wild West,
It is. Okay, and then the last one for round 3 is Men in Black, high seed, Mallrats, low seed. Okay, ready, set, go.
Shit, I dropped my card again.
Would you
All
like
right,
some
Mallrats.
chocolate-covered pretzels?
Nice job, Mallrats. Getting through. All right.
It's one of the most 90s movies.
Both. This almost could come down to 2 Kevin Smith movies at the end.
Oh shit.
Okay,
shit.
so here's our next one for
Kevin
round
Smith,
4.
in the
There's
90s.
only 2 rounds or 2 things for round 4. We've got Wayne's World versus Dogma. Wayne's World is high, Dogma is low. So this one is really gonna make or break.
Oh,
I know,
so
I already
90s.
know what's gonna happen.
Wait,
but
which one's high and low?
Wayne's World is high, Dogma's low. So
No.
da-na-na-na-na.
All right, let's make it happen.
All right, ready, set, show it. I just fucking.
Oh.
Wait, what's Sarah's?
Oh,
so
I
we got Dogma.
it hurt me to do
Squeaks
it.
Through.
I picked Wayne's World.
If that would
I
have been
did-
Pulp Fiction,
yeah.
I would have voted for Pulp Fiction. But
It was
c'est
like
la
a
vie.
0.1% of
I
a
can't believe I did
lean.
Yeah.
It was that
Ugh.
close.
Yeah.
I totally changed the whole course of it by not
I'm
picking
still
my
on
own
track.
choice, Pulp Fiction.
Still on track.
All right, and then
in
the next one,
Yeah.
which almost takes us to the last. We'll see. I'm guessing that it's going to be 2 Kevin Smith movies together. It's Jurassic Park and Mallrats.
That's what's up.
Jurassic Park is the high, Mallrats is the low.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
3,
Set,
2, 1, go.
go.
Unanimous.
Oh,
All
Jurassic
right.
Park.
Oh, wow. This is going to be
wins.
So the next
This is
round.
not how I expected this to go.
No.
No,
Pulp
because
Fiction was gonna take it
then,
all.
because this is the last one,
Until you
guys.
voted.
This is the last one for this side, and then that's one of our
Is
finalists.
it Dogma versus Jurassic Park?
It is Dogma versus Jurassic Park.
Great.
So we'll say Dogma is high and Jurassic is low.
Oh man.
So this is going to be quite the.
This is Jurassic Park versus Kevin Smith movies now.
Yeah, really. So, yeah, choose wisely, my friends.
Shit.
Because I don't know. Yeah, is there only one on the other side? That's
Yeah,
Kevin
just
Smith?
Clerks.
It's just Clerks. So
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Right.
Get yourselves ready for this. This is gonna kill it. This
Okay,
kill
Liz.
some. Ready,
hate
set,
this.
go. Is it unanimous except for me?
Oh.
Oh no! All right.
Mixed.
So Dogma
Dogma
is a
won.
finalist.
I picked Jurassic Park.
Wow.
I did too. Well, again,
Dogma
because
is
I
my
saw
favorite
it.
Kevin
That's
Smith
correct.
movie, so I'm
It didn't-
pleased.
It got there that way, but it wasn't.
Ah.
Dogma as the winner on the left side. So
Everyone's going to be
Yeah.
real mad at us now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
people
we
did not
will.
like-
They're all
don't
going
like Dogma.
rabble, rabble, rabble right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Sorry.
All the
People that
rabble.
like really love Pulp Fiction are just upset at us. Now.
I'm
Yeah.
upset because I had Pulp Fiction to take the whole fucking thing. I'm looking at my paper and I'm like, yeah, I voted Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't believe you did that.
I can't believe I
You
did
voted
that.
against your-
I voted against
yourself.
myself.
Against myself.
Oh well.
Oh man.
Whatever, it makes it interesting, right?
That other side is going to be brutal. Just
'Cause
looking ahead at next episode, you
I
guys.
did not
we have
vote against myself.
we have work
Dogma,
to do.
Dogma was one of my final ones.
It's funny though, because I had a coworker, like literally the second you put up this bracket, he Facebook messages me. He's like, "We have to talk about this bracket you were tagged in." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And
It's
then he's like,
starting
"What the
already.
hell?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have to let you know what's gonna happen." So he's probably gonna be like,
Dogma.
"Dogma,
This is
what?"
what happens
So-
when you take on such a broad project.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you piss
everybody
people off. Piss
Yeah.
yourself off.
So everybody send us your left side of your bracket.
Yeah, let's see what you guys had.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff.
Because we were all different, all 5 of us, our personal brackets.
And I think there were only a couple unanimous votes.
Yeah,
No, I thought there was only one. I don't know.
Two Jurassic Park at 1.1. I think didn't we all vote for?
Pulp Fiction? No.
No, it was Wayne's World.
Wayne's World on one of them. Yeah.
Wayne's World over Clueless.
Titanic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this bracket business
It's
is
hard.
tough.
It is very hard, but
Too much bracket business.
I think that we should wrap this up.
Yeah.
You know, it is
it was
getting on.
fun.
It was
Stay tuned for next episode, part 2 of the season finale of Foodies Watching Movies, season 3. It's been a good season, guys.
Dogma faces in the finale here.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. There's some
It's gonna be Dogma versus
contenders.
Clerks. We just
Not
don't
to
know
be
what's gonna
outdone by
happen.
this first half of the list. The second half of this list, there's some pretty fucking great movies.
Yeah, we'll see if it's what's on my list, because
We
Dogma's
shall
on
see.
my list for the end.
You had Dogma on your left side too?
Yeah, that was my final one.
Me
yeah.
too.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
They're on the same wavelength.
Oh, you guys
see
might be
what's gonna
scoring.
happen.
And what we're going to do, just like last year, is I will tally after we're done with our season, and it'll be just like a statistic we put up on Facebook. The the first round is worth 1 point for each of us, then 2, then 5, then 10, then 25, and then 50 for selecting the winner. We'll see who made the most points overall for
Nice.
determining.
That'd be fun.
Because we all have filled out our own brackets for this. But I think that's going to do it for this week's episode, part 1 of the finale of Foodies Watching Movies. As always, check us out on the Journey into Comics Network. Get us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, Spotify, CastBox, TuneIn, and many others. Just search Journey into Comics Network or go to journeyintocomics.com. Also, go to patreon.com/journeyintocomics where you can give us $1 and we'll give you a holler. Appreciate you guys so much. I think that's going to do it for this week. I have been Nate.
Sarah.
Veronica.
Liz.
AP.
And we will see you guys next time.
For the finale.
Eat fearless. Later.